Got it.
Well, welcome back to our Online Survival 3 podcast talking episode 2. We got a full house today. Before I get dazed in Aspen's ups and downs, we'll go to Mike since he was not here last
Ooh.
week and get some of his first impressions from the first 2 episodes of the cast.
Yeah, I like this newbie cast. They definitely seem here to play. I'm a little sad that I was wrong in one of my predictions already and that there would be no inactivities or quits. We had one of both in the first episode, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles in these things all the time. I was sad to see Amber go. I mean, I understand she had like time issues, but I liked her a lot from first impressions. I like a lot of these people from first impressions. There are people I flip flop on, specifically Anthony, where I keep like 1 minute I'm like, oh, he's great, he's entertaining, he's bringing a lot, and then like his scene starts to drag, and I'm just like, okay, all right, that's enough. It's too much. So back and forth.
Anybody, what are your thoughts on the dynamics of the returnees since you were not here last week for that discussion?
All right, so I do have a very specific thing I think about our 5 returning players, in that I see 2 of them not really here for redemption, and I see 3 of them who are here for redemption. I think that Rochelle and Carrie and Dot are here to redeem themselves. I think so, for sure, as in their first games were lacking something very important, or their placement was just not very good. And then as far as Fan Guy and Alex go, I actually see them as in the running for the greatest of all time behind all these series. If Fan Guy wins, I think he.
Don't say that too loud with Aspen in the room. She was mad at Alex last.
Well, hold on. I'll get to that. If Alex wins back-to-back Survivor seasons, I don't think there's much argument that he's not the greatest of all time. If Fan Guy wins, I would definitely strongly think that he has earned that title after narrow losses twice in second place, and then a victory here would prove, I think, that he is like this great player. And now don't get too upset, Aspen, because as of now, I think the greatest of all time for now is between you and Didi. That's where I stand on that.
Don't say that to them. Don't say that to them.
Didi.
You just compared a goat.
Didi has the best average of wins.
You just compared the goat with an actual goat.
First place.
Whoa. All right. Didi was 1 vote away from winning Survivor, and she won Online Isolation. I mean, I don't care if you want to call her a goat in that season. 1 vote away from winning the jury vote. Not a goat. Not a goat. But
you have any words on Kia? Or is she a new for you?
She's new for me. Like, she's being counted as a newbie for the purposes of tribe assignment and whatnot. So, you know.
Well, let's go to Aspen first. Who went up for you this week?
Oh God, dude. God, I'm struggling. I'm struggling to even think of who went up. Maybe Anthony. I don't know. I just like him. He just fucking corny enough for me to hang in there, and so I'm hanging on. I like Anthony.
Who went up for you, Anthony?
Who went up? I actually have 2, and I'm kind of breaking it between returnees and new news. So Fan Guy went up for me, just because he's really starting to build relationships with a couple folks, especially Nav. He's doing a good job, and I'm giving Nav the up too because he's getting in good with Fan Guy and a couple other folks. And regardless of, he took what Nicole was trying to do with him and went with it and got out of it. And I give him big props to that. So those are my 2 ups.
The disagreements are already starting, Aspen. Who went down for you?
Yeah, it's deep. Days, how fucking dare you say that Fan Guy went up? I just can't believe he back on his bullshit, bro. It's funny to see Fan Guy be on Fanboy at that.
Fanboy John.
Yeah, that's his name. Hey, that's his name that's what I'm calling him for the rest of this podcast is Fanboy. Yeah, he just showing his cards. He doing that thing that he do where he latch on to everybody. It's funny though. be on the other side of it because I'm usually the one he latching on to, you know? And so to see him just making these alliances with everybody, I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna get his ass in the ass again, and he gonna fuck around and come in second. If Fan Guy come in second 3 times in a row, he the worst player of all times. Can we say that? Can we
No.
agree to that?
No,
No.
no.
Look, his first second place on our season was a 4-3 vote, and like I said last week, even if he gets a second place again, it could very well be a 4-3 vote in his favor. So if you can get
Okay,
to
so
second
look.
place and only getting divided by 1 vote, you're doing something good.
So do you agree with his sentiments of, oh, it doesn't matter what I say at this point, you know, like it's pre-jury. Like, do you agree with him being like he can say
Well,
whatever
well,
he
not
wants
with
to?
If there wasn't an exile, I would agree with that. But you have to take into account that somebody may come back into the game, and if you said the wrong thing at the wrong time, it could bite you in the ass. But I have faith in Fanguy's social game and his ability to get to the end because he does it every time. And like I said, you never know; it might be a vote in his favor this time.
Days, who went
Okay.
down for you?
Again, splitting it, returnees and new news. Alex, my man, you went down. You said some things and almost got caught in a couple mishaps. You got to be a little bit more careful. Understand what you're trying to do, and you are a good liar. It's going to get you with some of these returnees because they know your game. And then Anthony, he went down, not necessarily because he got caught in anything, but because I feel that he is overplaying hard right now. And I feel like he doesn't have a read on the game, at least the girls that are in his tribe. He thinks John's tied up with them, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. Anthony, you need better reads, and you need to slow down on your gameplay at this point in the game.
Well, okay, wait. I didn't get to say who went down for me. So who went down for me was definitely Alex. His talk too much ass. Can't hold water. And and Fan Guy, both of them went down as far as returnees. And then as far as new people, for sure Miguel can't draw ass. He went down.
I mean, he was a good drawer, except he was drawing letters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not feeling him. He matter of fact, I'm gonna say he the only one who went down from the new people because I just ain't feeling him. Miguel.
Well, since you both have Alex going down, I'd like to jump to Alex's defense very briefly. And it's that what information did he leak to the chat that also had Nav in it? He said that Dot and Rochelle were on exile and were going to be joining the other tribe. That's going to be found out like real soon at like a challenge. Like it's not some like he's keeping his idol to himself. I think telling the lie about his advantage was a good use of keeping good information to himself. I don't see Alex going down this week. I mean, his mess up with like having Nav in the chat was like a blip on the radar, in my opinion. They were more mad at Nav about it than they were at him. They're like, we might need to get rid of Nav because he heard that. But like, you know what I mean?
Let me rephrase that. Not necessarily what he was saying, but somebody like him needs to try to play a under the radar game. And I feel like he is being seen too much right now. He's too visible. Not with the new players, but the returnees especially are like, Alex, like he's got to be the first of the returnees to go because he's a snake. And that's not something you want everybody thinking or having in the back of their mind this early in the game.
No, yeah, definitely. Alex, he talked way too much, bro. I'm still standing firm, and he just needs to learn, like, bro. If you're gonna try to have a alliance with Carrie and Fan Guy, you gotta like know those. You gotta have them social cues. You gotta know that he like, oh, I just was trying to tell you the information. Like, why would you tell her new information if Nav is in the chat and he ain't in y'all alliance? It's just little things, you know. Like, Alex, you a vet, bro. Come on, bro. You know better.
I want to say something else though. Like in general, I think the returnees are up in this episode and the new news are down because I've already found a distinction between the two, and that is acting ability when live on camp. Like the new news just feel really uncomfortable having conversations where the veterans are like, ah, fuck this. I've already done this before. They feel more comfortable in the roles that they're in.
Well, we'll talk about more of this in a while, but first we'll go to Aspen first. What are your thoughts on the dynamic between Fanguy and Rochelle? Because Rochelle's saying she can get over it, but Fanguy doesn't think she can. Fanguy doesn't even want her high up in the Returney Alliance.
I think Fanguy is overreacting. This is what I mean by being typical Fanguy, you know, like being like, oh my God, she out to get me. She not gonna forget it. She hates me. Dude, it wasn't even that deep, you know, like it wasn't that serious. She didn't hate him or nothing. Like, I don't feel like it was like that. I don't feel like the beef was that strong. I feel like he playing it up so he can, obviously, for his own gameplay, which I see you, Fanguy. I'm peeping that shit. But I just feel like he making Rochelle look bad. And obviously, you know, like that shit. You know, I feel like he I don't know why he would rather work with Alex, old snaking ass, than work with Rochelle, but I guess he probably
I mean, is he wrong though? I mean, Rochelle said she doesn't trust Fanguy because he's in an alliance with everybody.
But is she wrong though? Is she wrong?
No, I wrote down true. Big letters, true.
Mike, what is your take on the Fanguy and Rochelle dynamic?
I mean, Rochelle is right, but do I think the other players will think that she is right? No, because like when we were having the argument of whether Fanguy is up or down. Say what you will about Fanguy's unique brand of bullshit of everyone's my friend until you're not, but people believe it time and time again. People believe it, so fault him for it if you want, but it works. So it works. She's right. He was in an alliance with her, and then he saved her a bunch, which he's right about that. But at the end of the day, he ended up, she was only his like what, third best friend or second or third best. So he discarded her when the time came. So
I love him
season.
bringing up that he told somebody about Rochelle's advantage, which was me, that I accidentally slipped to Mike and Infinity.
It was you. It was you. Yeah.
Let's talk about
Days, you broke our alliance apart too. I wanted to say fuck you for that, bruh.
Well, almost. Not quite.
Well, almost. He tried.
Let's talk about some of the newbies. We'll start with Nick and Anthony. Aspen, you talked about last week. They know each other in real life and they played games together before. Is it good of them to just try to work together, even though Anthony's already trying to throw Nick under the bus?
God, I don't know. It's destructive. I would never work with Anthony in a game, you know, like, so that's why it's like, it's interesting to watch him. It's cool and funny, but like, I don't want to play with him. Like, don't put me in a game with this motherfucker, yo. Like, I probably would like find where he's staying, strangle his neck. I'd go to New York. Like, oh man, bro. Dude, he is off the wall. Like, I don't know how Nick is gonna manage being his number one or two or what. Well, I don't even think he is number one, because even though he knows him, he don't want to align with him more than he want to align with John and T. So that's kind of weird to me, but I don't know.
Mike, what are your thoughts on either Nick and Anthony or the main alliance in Boomerang, which is seeming to be T, John, and Anthony?
So I think that is going to be a somewhat solid 3, as in somewhat solid enough to make it to a swap if there's a swap, or a merge if there's a merge. I don't know if they're going to be I don't think they're going to be the final 3, but I don't think they're going to stick together throughout the whole merge if they all make it there. But I think they'll all make it there together. Specifically with Nick, is that he wants to get out John, because he says if John makes the merge, John's going to win the game. Now, sounds a little familiar to season 1, perhaps, days where I did the same thing. In my defense, in season 1, there was maybe 2 or 3 people I knew of that were actually playing the game at that point. Little different here, where it's a little early to be actually targeting someone because you're like afraid of them. I think it's too early for that from Nick, and I think that Anthony was not a fan of that. I mean, I do think it's good that since they know each other, I mean, it'd be dumb if you know someone to not at least pretend to be working with them. I don't think they're going to actively go for each other, but we already see Anthony saying, I'm ready to cut my losses in a heartbeat. So I see that happening.
If I'm Nick at this point, like some notes I got on Anthony is that he's bad at game talk. When he's in a chat with somebody, he fumbles all over the place. If I'm Nick and I catch wind that Anthony is okay with cutting me, I would start feeding him bad information and let him just spew it in one of his game talks, because he's gonna fuck up and make a target out of himself.
Yeah. That's actually
Good.
really good.
I know that
That's
is
the
a good
thing.
idea.
Aspen says that Aspen would never play with someone like Anthony. I'd play with someone like Anthony in a heartbeat, because someone like Anthony's easily manipulatable, in my opinion. I think he's entertaining and he's fun. I could see the energy getting very, very tiring as a fellow player, but you can't just disregard someone for being like that. You need to use that to your advantage. And I think that the 3-person alliance that he's in has some potential. At those two are going to use Anthony as their little
T and
attack
John?
dog. Yeah, T and John.
No, T. You think T is gonna use somebody as an attack dog? No way.
Maybe not her rationalizing it that way, but I think she might end up doing it unintentionally.
I do think that Anthony is right about John, though. Like John is one of those players that just very good in conversations with people. You don't suspect a lot of things, and you don't get a lot of information from him. So it's hard to figure out where the game's at when talking to him. So that is somebody that he's going to have to go after. But like Mike said, it's way too early to be making targets right now. Especially, oh, we need to have a boot list. Like, no, bro, you're playing too hard right now.
I mean, I do find it interesting that even though John's audio is sometimes not great, he still manages to leave a great impression on everybody.
He's likable. That's one of the best things. The best thing you can have coming into this game is just being likable. It's not something you can teach or really learn to be truthfully, genuinely likable. It's just not something you can teach or learn.
I mean, some players in games might say you're the antithesis of that, Mike.
I mean,
It seems like
yeah,
you're
Mike,
always the
you
rival
learned
of
it.
everybody.
What?
Seems like nobody likes you in games usually, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think that's a little unfair. I think some people like me. Like, as in, like, if people truly can't stand you, you won't do anything. But I mean, I did all right.
I mean, it's not everybody. I'm just saying you always have a target on your back when you're coming into games for whatever reason.
To be
Yeah,
fair
it's
with
not
Mike,
me.
I think he learned a lot. Like, there was a big difference in his first season and his second season. He wasn't near as disliked in the second season as he was his first one.
Yeah, I mean, I had genuine allies in my in online battle. I had people that actually did end up looking out for me at points in the game, and I didn't have that my first time around. So someone somewhere liked me, and I actually, a lot of the time in my second season, was like about I need to provide value to other people, because like I said, you can't teach likability, and I feel like people either like me or they don't, and I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm just going to be myself and play the game. So
any other thoughts on the dynamics of Boomerang pre-Rochelle and Dot?
I like how under the radar Key is playing right now. I like her. She's funny, unintentionally funny, and she could go far. She's playing back. I don't think she has the game ability to get too far in this game, but she's having fun, and I'm glad to see that.
So for clarification, is Kia's season aired at this point that this is being filmed?
No.
Okay, so they have no way of no one's putting it together that she is coming from online isolation. Okay.
No, she went down. I'm sorry, Dave.
You were rooting for her last week, Aspen.
I know, bruh. I know. I was rooting for her. And then this week, she threw me off. God, it was hard to watch her be braiding somebody's hair while she doing the challenge. I'm like, girl, if you don't put that down, braid down. It was frustrating at times. yeah, I don't know, bro. She went down. I felt bad for her. But yeah, she just went down for me. Like they said, honestly, I just see she has no way in like. I feel like she ain't really like making no moves. I don't feel like I feel like she just riding too much under the radar, and she don't have enough allies to ride that much.
She's the GOAT like Didi.
Yes, I wanted to say it, bro, but I know she might be watching, so she might get pissed.
The almost winning the game boot. We're not gonna we will have this argument till the end of time, but like, I don't know. I kind of disagree. I feel like she's doing decent. I wouldn't put her down after this episode. I wouldn't give her much movement in either direction, really. But you know, they haven't been a tribal. What do you want her to do for making moves? Because you berate Anthony for playing too hard, and you know, there has to be a balance somewhere. And it's this point of the game, being likable is just like a good thing to be doing and having. You don't need to make some final two deal. You don't need to make a final two deal in the first 2 weeks. Get to know people. Get people to like you. Let them come to you. You know, when you're playing that kind of game.
Doing that. I don't see her getting people to like her and coming to her, and like I just don't see. I don't see it, Mike. I don't see it.
All right. I mean, I don't know. I won't discount anyone till I see them like very clearly make bad mistakes. And what has she done wrong? I don't think anything.
Yeah, I see. I will cut a motherfucker off. I don't care. I just feel like she I don't know. I thought I had high hopes for her last week when she was like maybe not gonna stick with them, but now I feel like she just getting lost in the background. Honestly, this is how I feel, Mike. And you weren't here for this last week, but we have too many strong competitors and people who came to play, combined with the old people, with the new people that kind of play, like Anthony and John and Nav, and like I feel like she just kind of gonna get left in the background, like poor Didi did.
Take her to the end.
I mean, I'd say that's a great comparison. That's the thing, though. You do not need to be the best player on the season. You just need to be the best player left at the end, because the big players are going to target each other. And who do you want in your alliance if you're a big player? You want someone like Kia. So I'm not going to make a judgment until I see people trying to pull her in or saying that they don't like her and her just bungling something. Like I don't see any negatives that I can attribute so far. It's a good strategy.
I hope she plays the flirt game, because she can get those boys now. I'm telling you, like Anthony, I want to see her snow him so bad.
I can't tell. I think Anthony might be bi. I can't tell, bro. Like he said the headphones is what attract the ladies, but then he told Nick don't be looking. So I'm like, he all over the place. He all over the place.
So we talked about it a lot at the beginning, but I still want to talk about Fanguy basically having an alliance with everybody on his tribe already.
I mean, he said it best. Tyler, Paul, you know, Mr. Second Place with all the alliances, and you know, not the title at the end. But
why do you guys think Fanguy defaults to play this way? Is it just because it gets him so far in the game, or he just is afraid to step out of his comfort zone?
I think it gets him far. I mean, Fanguy is a sociable guy who gets along with everybody. And like Mike was saying, at this point in the game, your goal is to be liked by everybody, and everybody likes him right now.
That's true.
All right.
That is true.
So
give him some credit, Mike.
I'm about to send his ego flying through the roof, I'm sure. It's nice to watch Fanguy play and not have to play with Fanguy. I don't watch Big Brother, so I can't speak to the comparison with him of these people who have all the friends and stuff, but he has all the friends. It seems like almost everyone, for the most part, likes him right off the bat, tells him information, which is even better than being liked, is people want to also work with you strategically and they like you. That's golden. He's sitting in like the best spot of the returnees, in my opinion, and the best side of his tribe. And I'll give Fanguy this, is he's also a pretty dang good narrator. So we're really getting to see so much of this tribe through his eyes, and we're seeing what he's thinking. And yeah, he's just, I find it funny him comparing Anthony to me. I don't remember being so hyper. But okay.
I mean, I think maybe he just sees all targets like you, because he saw Nav last week and now Anthony.
Oh my God. I don't know, but
To be
He's
fair, I
playing
don't
great.
see it with the over the top behavior. I see it as more as Anthony trying to control and play the most optimal game. You know, it's the controlling factor of trying to maneuver in the game.
I guess I can see that. I mean, I was never really in a position of control ever, but that it's kind of funny that I do like it, but I never am in a position of control hardly. But it's funny that he's picking up on these things without ever having actually had a conversation with the guy, because they're on different teams. But he's still thinking and trying his best to learn about all of the people he sees in these challenges and stuff. You know.
Talking about Fan Guy or Anthony?
Yeah, I'm talking about Fan Guy, about how he's picking up on these things. I don't remember Anthony saying anything about the other tribe other than that we need to get rid of them, kind of.
Oh no, he did.
Beat
He
them.
He
did.
was talking about McQuill.
Oh, was
Yeah.
he?
Mhm.
I honestly don't remember that. My bad.
And you seem to be the one disagreeing on Fan Guy's game right now. Why do you think that is?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I think it's just because I do want to see him do something different. You know, I do want to see him step out his comfort zone and not just default to being that. It's hard though, because you know what? Fan Guy really is a genuinely nice guy, bruh. And that's the thing, bruh. It's hard for him to hide it. He's a nice dude, bruh. I like him. I got fooled by it too, you know. So, but damn it, I just want to see him do some other shit. And I feel like, honestly, I'm more sad because I feel like it's gonna fuck him up. I feel like it's gonna fuck him over in the end, bruh. So somebody gonna call him out. He gonna get tied up in some bullshit like he always do every time.
So, I mean, I'm currently shitting on players on Big Brother for having too many alliances on my Big Brother coverage. But I do think the difference with Fan Guy is at least Fan Guy he doesn't overplay at least. He knows it's more on a social level with Fan Guy than actually super trying to do too much, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I can
That's
see
true.
that. And for what it's worth, I mean, as far as asking him to play a different kind of game, why? He's almost won the game twice, and stepping out of your comfort zone to play a game like this, especially one that is face to face, it makes it more genuine. Trying to be something you're not isn't going to work. You know, it's so for me, I can't tell you how many times I've tried to take my foot off the gas and relax. I can't do it. Having him not make a bunch of alliances, I imagine would have a similar effect. He would just sit there biting his tongue and be like, I can't do it. This isn't how I play. And trying to play a different game just for the sake of playing a different game, I don't think it's the way to go about it, because there's no one winning solution to Survivor. It's not like a solved game. You can't just come in and know you're going to win. So you have to play your game and adapt to what gets thrown at you.
I agree, but what I will say is I just feel like if this time he does not do better than second place, then maybe you should think about changing your game up, because then maybe if you don't have one less, literally make one less alliance, maybe it'll get you to that W. But you know what? I ain't gonna speak too much on it until I see him get to the end. I got faith in my boy. You know I love him, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a game that gets me to the end every time, 100% of the time, because eventually you're going to find a jury that will forgive you or like you. Just if you're so confident he makes the end with his game, keep playing that game. You know.
Well, let's move on to the challenge. Pictionary. Any thoughts on Pictionary overall? You all had predictions that Vicious was going to win. Even Mike in the comments thought so, but was not the case.
I still think I was right that Pictionary is not charades.
Yeah, you're right on that.
No. I want to give the award to Meg for the best Pictionary artist I've ever seen cross this platform. Meg killed that shit. She is a great little kindergarten Pictionary drawer. I don't know. She did a great job. I mean, Miguel did okay. You know, I ain't gonna fault him. He did okay. But I think it's really that Alex is the wonder kid. He a beast, and what in the fuck made him guess The Simpsons? Somebody please explain that to me. What in the fuck about that picture was The Simpsons?
I mean, I could
Oh,
see
man.
it, but
It
I
was rough.
knew the answer. But I mean, I'm drawing what five people and a baby on a couch. Like that's what I'm going for with, one big afro and a pointy head and whatnot. But
I think
no,
drawing
I-
Marge would have been good.
But
Yeah.
Marge was the only thing
Yep.
you had to draw was that fucking afro.
Yeah, I actually played this one along at home where I kept passing the phone between me and my boyfriend, and one of us would see the answer, go to the notes on our phone and draw it. And our drawing for The Simpsons was like tall, square head on one person Simpsons. We got it like that. Or I got it, I was guessing at that time. But
Instant.
that's how you draw The Simpsons. I don't know what he was going for. He got it, but yeah.
But I
there are better
I
ways to
just
draw
think
that.
I think it was no help from Miguel. I think Alex is just fucking Alex, bro. He's just so smart, and God, I just get so amazed at watching him in challenges. How he a beast, man.
If
I gotta
Alex
give
just
it
knew
to
his
him.
superheroes a little better, they win that challenge. If he
Yep.
gets it
Yeah.
from the lasso before the W's drawn, they win the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Nick deserves a lot of credit. He got all the answers right for his team on.
Yeah,
Boomerang.
he
True.
did good for somebody who did not do all that well drawing in this challenge. And that was like T did great doing charades last week. This week, not so much. What was it? Gummy worms? That was horrible.
That was painful. It was bad. That hurt.
Yeah, I had to clean my glasses off for that shit, yo.
If you know the category is candy, just draw the worms.
Yep.
That's it. You didn't need like the bag.
Why
them
the
coming
bag
out of
or
the bag
square?
is what confused them.
I mean, also Kia kept guessing candy bars, and I don't see why she kept guessing candy bars with the drawing that was there.
That's true.
She
That
really
is
thought it was
true.
Snickers. She really, really, really thought it was Snickers.
She said,
I tell you-
"Whatchamacallit?"
What? That's a candy bar.
I know, but
No, but it didn't look like
what-
it.
Oh, I mean, okay, whatever. I had high hopes for Nicole in this challenge because she busted out the big ass drawing board back behind. I was like, okay, this girl came to play. And then she draws a chicken. And I'm like, oh no, this is.
Yeah.
To
Yeah, I
be
do think
fair,
Nav needed to
be-
pull a mic and just start guessing teams, though.
yes. To be fair,
Like-
he should have just started guessing like Mike and Fan Guy do, have diarrhea at the mouth and just blurt everything out. But that didn't look like no. I mean, I imagine it's hard to draw a bird. Like I don't know that I'd be able to draw a bird. But I mean, she's
that's
from
closer to
Baltimore.
what the emblem looks like
True.
right there. And that was right off the top of my head. But what she drew, no.
In defense of Nav, there are a lot of bird sports teams, especially across all the sports. I
All
feel
she
like
had to
if there
do was
had
draw
been
the football.
Yeah.
Yes.
She should've
Okay.
drew
If
football.
that's what I was gonna say, I feel like if she had drawn a football, Nav would have got it.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty damn sure.
Whew. Yeah, that was hard to watch. And then I kind of agree with Nav on letting Alex and Miguel keep going. I
Yes.
usually wouldn't, but I was like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, you don't want to lose a second challenge in a row right there after you've already lost two people, potentially losing a third. You've got to let your best people who are, getting points keep going in the challenge if you have the opportunity to do so. So I agree with Nav there, absolutely.
Yeah. If we're gonna I also will find myself on the side of Nav on that debate, but throwing some credit to Nicole, she did bust out this big drawing whiteboard and really never had a real shot at it. I can completely understand her frustration.
I honestly think both were right
afterwards.
in what they were saying.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Mike Tyson?
Post Malone. Loved it.
Post
Nick's
Malone.
guess. He was in the right direction, like noticing the tattoo. He was going the right way, and he pulled out the Mike Tyson in the end.
Honestly, Nick did a really good job on that because Kia did a shitty job. She fucking bro, I swear to God, I didn't know it was a person until he guessed Mike Tyson, and I go back and I'm like, oh, there's the person. Oh, like I had to be like, damn, like I don't know. It was, and what the fuck was she drawing like at the bottom of him? Like I don't know.
I think a person he had knocked out. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I could be wrong. This was the hardest one, playing along at home. Mike Tyson was the hardest one. We did the ear biting route, which is eventually what got us there. Draw teeth, draw an ear. If you know anything about that, you probably get it.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the drawing looked like more of the, what is it? The robots boxing, that little game that we used to play back in the day. But it was too
Exactly.
jumbled
I do think the face tattoo worked though, obviously, because Nick got it.
That was good. The face tattoo was smart. If you can get people to boxing though, they'll probably get to Mike Tyson pretty quick. He's one of the most well-known boxers.
I would have just drawn weed. Y'all know Mike Tyson smoke weed. He got a wrench.
I would never have got that.
Oh,
never.
I
did not know that.
Only you
know
know
that.
that.
Tiger.
Well, Boomerang wins again. But first, we have Dot and Rochelle officially joining Boomerang. Although Lauren's already telling him we don't really need 2 more players. And she's not wrong because they're winning.
Those two together, though, I love it. Dot and Rochelle are just funny as fuck, just on camera. I love it.
Yeah, they got a good relationship. I want them to stick together. I could see Dot and Rochelle being me and Rochelle. Maybe that's what I see for them in the future, and that's why I like it so much. But yeah,
Bro, when Rochelle rolled into the chat with Lauren, she said under her breath, and I busted out laughing. She goes, "I like your headphones. You have money.
You got
Yeah,
money. Yeah, you got
Actually,
money." I'm like, bro, that shit had me laughing so hard. I'm like, yeah, that's my girl Rochelle right there. That's my girl.
Well, they're coming into a team that keeps winning. Do they need the team to keep winning since they're so new to the team, Mike?
Man, I don't know. I'm conflicted because we haven't seen the tribe go to tribal, so I don't know. We are seeing fractions. I mean, we're seeing someone like Anthony's either going to be in a very controlling position or he's going to go. And so that might be one way or another good for the 2 people coming in. When there's already someone who's so likely to be polarizing on the tribe. And
Mike,
we have
in general, what is your thought on this? Before a swap, would you rather go to a tribal or would you want to win out to a swap or a merge?
I generally think the numbers play is to lose a challenge and go to a tribal together. However, I cannot fault anyone in any individual circumstance for just wanting to win, because it's really hard to throw your game at risk for like the idea of I need to prove myself to people or have people prove themselves to me. Like it's so good on paper, and I'm always wanting to like get to know if I can trust people or not. But on the other hand, guaranteed safety time and time again, especially when there's not one person you know for sure is the first boot. That's like great. It's a good feeling to win.
Aspen or Days, where do you guys see the dynamics forming now that Dot and Rochelle have joined the big team of Boomerang? They still have all 8 people now.
I think they got an uphill battle. I mean, I think they've got to make Anthony the target, get in good with T, John, maybe pull in Lauren. Although that conversation with Rochelle, Dot, and Lauren was awkward as fuck. And I think Dot hit it on the head. He pointed out how there very much is a social aspect of the game. And I don't feel like the Nunus are really getting that yet. So if they have to move up the ladder, I feel Dot and Rochelle can. It's just going to be really difficult to, move up for them. So it's that's a tough tribe for them to join because it's already fractured.
Yeah, I mean yeah. I almost got more faith in Dot and Rochelle because I feel like they a good dynamic and they might be able. I could see them getting along with John. Um, Dot love his Southern hospitality, and I'm pretty sure John is from like Memphis. So I could see them getting along about that. I don't. I'm so confused about Lauren or where she stand. I didn't know she could talk until she was like, "Well, we don't really need y'all." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I like
Yeah.
how she is deliberate with what she say. You know, like I don't know if she's thinking about it or not. I don't know, but I mean that shit touched some nerves.
I definitely know the difference between T and Lauren right now. T is she's a lot more socially aware. Lauren, not so much. Like I said, that conversation was awkward, and that wasn't because of Dot and Rochelle. That was because of Lauren and her just being straight up with no fucks given. So
And late.
mm,
And not
I'd be mad.
apologizing
Yeah.
because Dot said she
It's
need to
not hard to
apologize.
say you're sorry. You don't have to mean it. It's not
Yep.
hard to say it.
I don't even think she was thinking about it like that though. And I think that's what Days was saying is she just ain't socially aware. She wasn't thinking about it like, oh man, I'm late and these people waiting on me. I like how we be thinking about it and how we know that shit affects your game, you know, me out of everybody. Cause your ass missed some shit. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it for you.
yeah, you would know that, wouldn't you, Aspen?
I would. Yeah.
The thing that worries
Go
me,
ahead.
yeah, last thoughts, I guess. The thing that worries me about Dot and Rochelle coming in is their not warm welcome. And in the preview, we see people seemingly not buying Dot's friendliness thing too much. And that worries me because that's how if Dot's seen, which so far it seems like he's playing a somewhat similar game. He hasn't had much chance to play, but friendliness is what he needs. He needs people to like him. And if he comes into a tribe and people don't like him,
You know who that's going to work on? With Dot, that's going to work on John and Nick. And I think that's exactly the two people he has to go to, both him and Rochelle, and start breaking up the rest of that tribe. I think those are his two options to go to that would really appreciate the Southern hospitality of Dot.
Yeah, you're right. If
see
they're to
that.
find a good inroad, that's their most likely inroad for sure. Is those two? I feel like John can literally work with anybody in that tribe and be fine. And Nick hopefully realizes his position and can work with those two.
Well, we'll lastly talk about Vicious and
You mean
their
the Chihuahuas?
dynamics. Yeah, the Chihuahuas, they really are so far. I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but Fan Guy tells Carrie that Dot and Rochelle are in the game, and then Alex tells her too, but in front of Nav. How do you think this dynamic of these three on that team is going to go? Because, you know, there seems already to be some distrust in Alex.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Right.
If anything breaks the returnees apart, it's having the knowledge of how they all play, and that realistically none of them can be trusted. And that's going to cause big fractures. They've got to pull it together. They've got to make a commitment to one another to stick together for a little bit, or else they're going to get picked off.
Any thoughts, Aspen or Mike?
Yeah. Oh man. It's hard because like I want Fan Guy to work with Alex, but if Fan Guy know what's good with him, he wouldn't. I don't know why he want to work with Alex more than he want to work with Carrie. That's kind of interesting to me. I feel like Alex is more backstabby, but we didn't really get to see Carrie with a K play that much. You know, I feel like she got out right before it got good. But bro, I'm worried about them. I'm worried about them three on that team together. It's bad. somebody gonna run their mouth too much. Somebody gonna, yeah, it just fucks you up when somebody talks about how you played your first game or reveals that information. Like they gonna let them in on Fan Guy playing season 1. I'm pretty sure that's about to happen.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's kind of like Mike and Fan Guy. Like I know Fan Guy, like he wanted to work with somebody like Mike or me because both me and Mike like to talk game. And with the ability to talk game comes scoping out different scenarios and how to progress through the game. And if you're playing somebody who doesn't think strategically, it's hard to navigate through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when is Carrie not really been strategic? Like she's just as capable of it, I think. She just didn't have as much time to shine. You know what I mean?
I think so too.
I think she was playing strategically. She just played incorrectly, which might actually be better. I mean, they don't know at this point how good Alex did on his season. They just know he's still in at this point. So, I mean, I can understand it. I love this team, the whole team. This team, I'm usually pretty impartial, but I was really rooting in the challenge for this team to win. I did not want to see any of these people go. And that's going to remain true. I want to see them all make it to a swap or a merge because I like all of these people so much off of what I know about them. They have so much potential, the returnees and the new people. And I'm excited for this team for sure.
I'll say I noticed something about Fan Guy's game that I didn't in the past, and that's I feel like he likes to find the most paranoid player in the game and then feed them information and possibilities just to get them going. And
You think he did that to you?
Yeah, and now he has that with Carrie.
Any other thoughts? We talked about a little bit, but on Alex lying to Fan Guy about what advantage he actually has.
Mike's right, is a good move.
It was. I don't know if I feel like he played it off that well. I kind of feel like I be catching Alex sometimes when he be doing his little lies and shit. Just how his eyes be going all over the place and shit. Like it's certain things Alex do when he telling lies that I'm wondering is anybody else gonna catch on to.
It's much easier to catch on to as a viewer when you know it's a lie than live.
I caught into it, and that's why I put him down for the episode.
Yeah, I mean, Fan Guy pretty smart though. Like Fan Guy peep shit that most people don't peep. So I'm expecting Fan Guy to notice some shit.
Well, even though Carrie and Fan Guy are suspicious of Alex's game that he's playing and talking to Nav about it, they still vote out Nicole in the end. Thoughts on that?
I mean, honestly, I kind of wanted it to be Nav, but I knew it was gonna be Nicole, and I ain't that sad. I just feel like she just was here to have a good time, and that's what she did, and now she gone. Honestly, I don't really got too much faith in her coming back. She don't strike me as a me. She don't strike me as the type to get voted out and then, claw her way back. But maybe I'm wrong.
She had a whiteboard. She's gonna beast this.
I think there's so many gamers in the returnee population that they wanted another gamer with them, and that person is Nav. I felt good about him. I'm glad he was able to turn that around and not make his word good, but just paint it as a positive, as trying to get the strongest players in the competition, because Fan Guy wants to win a competition, Alex wants to win a competition. So that was definitely the route to take, and props to him. I still think he can make merge, but now with Nicole gone, he's possibly the next up if they have to go to tribal council again.
All right, well, I'll talk on Nav because, as mentioned by Nick last time, I recommended Nav to play this game. I've played a lot of games with Nav. I know him. I know how he navigates. He's my winner pick for the season, for sure, even now that he might be the next out. But Nav is scary. If there's anyone who can play into these returnees' paranoia and get them to turn onto each other, it's going to be him. If there's anyone that can win challenge after challenge after challenge, it's probably going to be him. He is so good at just like sitting there and being unassuming and then just winning. All of a sudden you look over and he's got his like 5th individual immunity win, and you're like, is he gonna win? And he's gonna win. And so I don't know. I really didn't want to see him go because I didn't know before the vote that there was definitely Redemption Island, even though the season was called Redemption. But I feel like if he goes to Redemption Island, he's going to be my pick to come back in at the merge or whatever, because that's just the kind of player he is. So I'm excited to see what he can do. And I didn't want to see Nicole go either. I mean, as bad as this sounds, I might be team like newbie just for the fact that they're new. And it'd be nice to see someone new win. As much as I like all of these returnees, I really do. But it would just, I think, be nice to see someone new come in and take the crown.
I mean, if anybody new gonna come in and take the crown, it's gonna be Anthony. Don't get it twisted.
I like Anthony, but I don't think he has winner potential.
Even though
think
he done played these games before, Mike, he on y'all level. He done
I've played
shit.
these games before I came into season 1. Did that help me?
No.
No, it did not.
True.
This is one of the things I wanted to see, like, now that I've started playing some orgs, the difference between the two, and how, like, we know how you came in and how it changed. And I want to see if it's the same with Anthony and vice versa, going back and forth. I think it's an interesting dynamic when you put a camera in front of somebody and how their game differs.
Yeah. I mean, okay, literally anyone can win. It's just the way the game works. But he's not very likely. He's one of the not very likely at all people in my book, just because he's so in the spotlight so early. You should and can be in the spotlight, because that'll likely get you jury votes. If everyone spends all their time talking at you or targeting you and you make it to the end, a lot of people are going to respect that. But this is not the time to be in the spotlight, in my opinion.
Miguel was exiled during this vote. Where do you think he fits into this team coming back?
I could be wrong, but I caught a comment from someone that said Miguel wants Nav. Now, that could have been a lie, like wanted prior to him going to exile. Now, that could have been a lie told by the returnees to, I believe, Nicole, perhaps to make her feel better or something. But if that's true and he comes back and Nicole's gone and Nav isn't, I don't think he's going to be too pleased. But if it was a lie, it's not really relevant.
Well, any final thoughts or predictions? Or go ahead, Aspen.
I just was gonna say, I don't know, Miguel. I kind of want him to get voted out next.
It's not Phil and Miguel.
No.
I'm interested to see the dynamic between Anthony and Dot, how that's gonna pan out. I think that could be a big fight, coming up. I don't think Dot is going to take well to him. So that's what I'm looking for next episode.
It's going to be Days versus Alex 2.0, yo. Oh,
What?
wow. Days, I mean, not
mean
Days,
versus
but Days versus Mike or Alex versus Dot.
I think they're either going to get along great and actually work really well together, or they're going to hate each other. The more likely option, but the less entertaining option. So.
Also, predictions for the challenge next week. I'm going with the Chihuahuas again.
It is a computer-based game. The next game, it's called Ballistic. No one
I
has
thought
been
it
playing
was
on one of these before.
I thought it was the in common list.
What?
What?
Yeah, I thought they were like you go down the list and name things and you have to guess what they have in common. I thought that was what was in the preview.
No,
That's the
Miguel
Exile.
Exile.
Oh, okay.
But the game is it's called Ballistic. It's a video game online.
Eh.
Okay. I'm going to predict Vicious to win that. And I'm also going to predict Miguel to correctly guess and get an advantage that he misplays.
Hey, that was funny. Oh wow. That's a good one. Yeah, I definitely am gonna hop on that. Miguel just misplays his advantage if he get one. Nah. I don't know. I don't know who gonna win. I honestly I kind of got high hopes for the nerds, the little chihuahuas, because it's Alex. Is Fan got back in the game yet or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Alex, Fan Guy, Nav, so they might win that computer shit, but I don't know
Ooh,
these
yeah.
young bucks keep surprising me.
Miguel's got that gamer setup at his boyfriend's house is what
It's
it was,
his
or wherever he
boyfriend's
went.
gamer
Yeah.
setup now. Calm
Is-
down. It's his
It's
boyfriend.
still a gamer setup. You know, you sit in a gamer chair and your kill death ratio goes up like 20%. Like
is
that.
is the challenge like an average of the scores, or it just the team who has the highest?
It's 5-on-5, the highest at the combined score.
Oh man, then I might have to go Boomerang.
Yeah, no, Boomerang gonna win this shit, bro. I think they go pull it off.
Nope. I mean, who's gonna drag that team down? Who's bad? Carrie did pretty good at the helicopter game.
Kia.
Remember?
Kia
Carrie's
would kill.
Carrie's a
Kia would
player.
drag the score down.
I mean, I saw Carrie in the comments at a different episode being like, what are you talking about? I'm good at challenges. Carrie's right. Carrie's good at challenges. When she's been bad at challenges. This team doesn't have a weak link to anything, you know. That's what makes them good.
Kia's gonna eat one too many gummies and forget to even do the challenge.
Oh,
Bruh.
God.
No, she gonna be doing somebody hair, giving somebody a fucking foot rub, pedicure, manicure. She just be so distracted. Like, that don't got nothing to do with the weed. Leave the weed out of that. Fuck that.
All right, I gotta end it there. That was a very lively discussion. I enjoyed it. I will see everybody again next week.